Yo, what's up? Welcome back to the weekly upset special. Of course, Transfer Portal CFB presented by No Context CFB. I'm telling y'all right now, weeks 1, 2, 3, and 4, they meant nothing to us. That's not just because our records are bad. It's because every week upcoming is so much better than the past. It's all about looking ahead, not looking behind. We couldn't care less about those other weeks. Terrible. Terrible, absolutely terrible. So I declare right now, me, Parker, Josh, and our best friend needs no introduction, the random wheel. We'll all be so good this week. We're all getting one, at least one. Of course, yes, Parker and Josh on with me today. Before we get into picks, just got to recap last week. I know, got to embarrass ourselves. I'm sorry.
We have to.
Yeah, the wheel now with an 0-4 record after Vanderbilt over Kentucky and Clemson over Florida State. Wheel, my brother, was robbed. Highway robbery. Parker, you did send us picks. We shared them. Iowa over Penn State, Vanderbilt over Kentucky. Your Iowa pick prompted both Dylan and I to basically bet that there's no chance in the world it happens. Dylan said if Iowa beats Penn State, I'll jump into a river. I said I'll eat the pimento cheese chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A with the pimento cheese. There was no fear for me. I was not eating that cheese. You're now 2-4. Dylan was on for his debut. Baylor over Texas was a no-go from the jump, it appeared, and UCLA over Utah. It's just hard to play in Salt Lake City. He's 0-2. And then I am a very cool, calm, and collected. Let me just flex that 1-7 record. SMU over TCU. We didn't get that skillet. The pass protection from SMU really let me down. Play calling was sus. And then Army over Syracuse was looking good for a hot minute until the Army collapsed and lost the war, which brings us to week 5. Hello.
Oh,
Make sure to like
joy.
and subscribe, all that stuff. Parker, first pick.
I want to go ahead and disclaimer and say that I was counting on James Franklining, and he did not. That was my main reasoning.
Oh, I
That
forgot to tweet the video of him asking all these people. Do you see the video of James Franklin asking a bunch of Penn State reporters if they like their coffee black or ice cream sundae style?
what?
He
What is
he
he
has meant
talking
like
about?
cream and sugar, but
Hmm.
everyone in that presser, he was like, ask him that. And if they asked him a question first, he got upset and was like, there's a theme going on here. Talk to me about the coffee.
Well, on a similar note, outside of the hours, we're gonna have to talk about your pimento
Taking
cheese take.
Northwestern. Well,
I'm
I
not a
just
big
don't.
fan.
I'm not a big cheese guy.
Fair. I mean, I know, but it's a Southern chicken sandwich. You gotta take it all in. But anyways, I'll go with my first pick. I've got two big numbers facing me right now with these picks this week. So like, the confidence level may not be that high, but I'm liking the teams that I'm picking, and that's what I'm going for. First off, I'm going Hawaii over UNLV. Rainbow Warriors got some momentum, picked up that win last week. UNLV's been I've liked what I saw from them overall for sure, but it definitely mistake prone at times. They've gotten fortunate in some games. That Vanderbilt game really could have gone either way. They're getting 11 points in Las Vegas. Going to be tough for Hawaii to go on the road, but I think they can win a shootout in a game like this and kind of build some momentum. Maybe this is the start of the Timmy Chang kind of turnaround, and the Timmy Chang era takes off after this. So I think, hey, in a shootout, I'll take Braden Shager and the guys on the road. It's some like 40-37, reminiscent of that Vanda UNLV score, something along
That's
those
a
lines. But
fun game.
I think they're going to come back down to earth. So give me the Rainbow
Yeah,
Warriors.
you know how I feel about this UNLV team,
Oh,
and
I know.
I really wish Doug Brumfield was healthy. It's
Mhm.
a very sad situation for him. It really does stink. And then you got Jaden Maiva going in there and just slinging the ball at such a proficient level. Like I don't know. I'm still very optimistic about UNLV, man. I can't bless you about this pick.
Fair enough. That's fair. I'm counting on a couple of turnovers from Mavia. He's been a little slightly turnover prone so far. I do like him honestly as a quarterback overall. I think he's got good potential, but I'm hoping for some turnovers, so I steal some extra possessions because their defense is not going to be able to stop UNLV by any means. But steal some possessions, get a couple more scores than the other team. That's how you win football games.
It is. How about you, Josh? What's cooking over there?
Well, first of all, that was one of my bench picks, so happy it was one of my starting picks taken. But I do like that pick. As the person who stays up to watch all the game, everybody does, but I stay up and then like write about the games. Watching the Hawaii, it's so much fun. Garrett Trader, do they win all the time? No, hard no. But is it fun? Yeah, I like a high scoring game too. Uh, I'm just looking because I have a spreadsheet, and funny enough, I've been on for every odd week game. I've been on for week 1, week 3, then now week 5. And I'm, as you people know by now, I kind of spray the board, just like I have backups so I don't get sniped for my picks. And I'm if we took all my picks combined, I'm batting 300, but we don't do that. We only take 2 of my picks, and my picks have been awful because I've gone with my heart over my head. And I'm gonna do that again. I'm gonna pick with my heart again because it's all for fun. And I'm gonna pick this one because this one just stood out to me. It's a bright orange, an orange.
Oh my
It's Syracuse
goodness.
+7
Yeah.
versus Clemson because this is literally my breakdown. A, it's Clemson going to Syracuse, so duh. Point B, Garrett Trader has been running and gunning, so it's pretty fun. And C, it's Clemson going to Syracuse. It's vibes are weird. Every time it happens, vibes are weird. Even last year, Syracuse went to Clemson and there was like a questionable call at the end of the game, I remember, and then like end of the third quarter, like Syracuse, I think like they could have gone for it easily, and then instead they punted or something, and then they ended up like giving Clemson a free something. But
They
yeah,
played not to lose. And it was
exactly.
terrible.
So I think Dino Babers realizes, hey, Syracuse, they keep doing this. Like they'll have like a really hot start and then they'll fade away. And then Dino Babers kind of hangs on. I think Dino Babers, I hope he understands that, hey, we gotta win this one if I'm really gonna keep my job. So I'm gonna take Syracuse, taking down Clemson, because I mean Clemson is not the Clemson of old. We all know this by now. So and again, just Garrett Trader's just really awesome with his ball fakes. Like what he did against Purdue, just constantly just fake the handoff, stand there. Defense goes with the running back, and then he literally just jogs for a touchdown or a first down, and it's awesome. And I'd really like to see him do that against Clemson. So I'm gonna take the orange.
All right. I like the pick. Fading Dabo in 2023 seems to be a very intelligent move by you, recruits, transfer portalers. Well, I mean, he won't even look at them, to be fair, but transfer portalers, no, I ain't even have to look over that way either. So I get it. It was tough for me going at Syracuse last week. It was a tough experience in that second half. I hope you have a better time than me in the Army.
And I'm siding with the right side this time. So
you are.
I do. Yeah, I do really think Garrett Schrader is a name that needs to be known more. Just because of his career journey, and I mean, from helicoptering against Kansas State, he's now at Syracuse. You know, really balling out this season. I think not a lot of people are talking about Syracuse. Obviously, I haven't played anybody truly major yet, but I mean, they are still technically at this point in the season a contender in the ACC. So, and they could become even more so with a win here. I like the pick. I think they're going to cover that spread regardless. I think it's Clemson with their backs against the wall is the only thing I might be afraid about, but I can see it.
I would just like to say I respect both of you, my fellow comrades, as neither of you took my number one option, which really makes me happy because I didn't want to double dip on the board again.
Yeah.
How many touchdowns has Riley Leonard thrown for this season, folks?
I don't know.
The answer is 2. The answer is 2.
I was gonna say 4 also. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, he has thrown for 2 touchdowns. 2. Significant number, perhaps? I'm truly going on the fly here. 2 is a significant number because I picked them to finish second in the ACC this season.
Okay.
Very smart on the fly there. Yes.
Incredible segue.
Duke, number 17. Even their basketball team wouldn't be ranked that low. Come on, please. Notre Dame, 11? What's going on there? Notre Dame did not look good at all last week, in my opinion. I thought the coaching was a complete abomination on both sides of the sidelines over there in South Bend. Ohio State, Notre Dame, terribly coached. No, it's not terribly coached. Duke, Mike Elko, most underrated coach in the country. Riley Leonard. Hey, most intelligent quarterback in the country, one of the best athletes in the country, regardless of position. Every scout you talk to, NFL evaluator is telling you, yeah, it's not just first round potential, it's top of the board potential, whether he comes out this year or next year. They have a special quarterback. Some are saying they have the better quarterback in this game. Some are saying the offensive line, sure, it's in Notre Dame's favor, but Duke, super underrated offensive line. If you can't tell, my pick here is Duke. Just want to make that very clear. I am taking Duke here. Very happy about this underrated team. That's all I've been saying. That's all I've been preaching. This team is so underrated. Go ask 10,000 people. I've used this line since August. Go ask 10,000 people and name one Duke player on this team that isn't named Riley Leonard, and 99% do not reply with an answer. That's not Duke's fault. It's an indictment on the media and how unfairly they treat one of the best powers in college football this season. You give me Duke versus 2023 Duke versus 2022 TCU. I'm siding with the Blue Devils. It's not just a bold opinion. It's a matter of fact that seems so extreme right now, but it wouldn't seem that way if the same sentence was uttered in a few months. So I tell you right now, there's a path to the playoff for Duke. As mind-boggling as that sounds, they could have wins over a top 10 Clemson team, a top, I mean, Notre Dame's at 11 now, but it's called like it is. It's a top 10, 15 team in the country. They'd have those two wins. Could have a win at Florida State. It's another highly coveted win. Yeah, it's very impressive. That's what I'm saying. Well, what I'm saying here is everyone's been looking for a next TCU. It's been Durham, North Carolina the whole time. It just has. And this team is not many other teams could go and say they have 6 to 7 playable DBs. They have a great front seven, a great linebacking core, great reliable special teams to actually let them down against Clemson with the muff punt. And again, Duke played a C-plus game against Clemson. We haven't seen their best. We've been seeing this team, that's what I love about Duke. It doesn't matter who they play. They play Duke football. They're not going to become there. When you talk about teams not taking care of their food or not, words are tough. Words are tough. Duke to win this game, not tough. It's not. It's like coming into the year, Duke wins one of Clemson, Notre Dame. They win two of those. Shout out Mike Elko. Shout out Riley Leonard. Shout out the good, solid receiving core. Shout out the offensive line. Graham Barden could very well be a first-round pick. There's not enough good things I have to say about this team. I could go on and on. The Duke social teams or whoever's in charge of their merch should send me some merch so I could rock Duke stuff instead of Youngstown State stuff. Duke's winning this game. I've become the honorary #1 Duke fan in the country this season. Is what it is. I'm fully immersed. We're winning the ACC. We're going to the playoff. We're beating Notre Dame.
And I think you have very quickly become the #1 Duke fan in the country, honestly. The passion is just palpable.
Up there. I'm up there. Cousin Alex has a slight edge on me as he was a student manager at Duke for their basketball team. And he's very into he'd be watching their baseball, soccer, and softball stuff. I ain't doing that. I'm just here for the football, man.
That's fair.
In the words of Coach K, come on, Duke. Like some defense.
Nope.
Yep.
Like that.
I am surprised though, honestly, to see Notre Dame getting 6 points in this game.
I'm not getting 6.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not surprised at all.
Not surprised at all. Well, yeah, Duke, I was about to say
Duke doesn't get the
disrespect. Yeah.
National disrespect. Media treats them as this cute little dog. They're a Rottweiler. They're a shark. Jaws in the water. Cue the theme music. They're ready. They're hungry. They're ready to strike. This team is it's an incredible team. Like if they were branded as Clemson right now, I think where would they be ranked if they were branded as Clemson? Like easily in the top 8. It is a very good ball club that's very undervalued. The name value isn't there, and that's not any fault of this program. like I'm taking Coach Elko over so many coaches in this world. I just am in the college football. Like,
Yeah.
I just give me two. Give me two.
Yeah.
And it's-
I mean,
I was
number
just gonna
one,
quickly
you
say-
buried the lead where it's game day. This is game day. They're going to a non-Duke basketball game. This is awesome. And then number two, come on, Liam, college football fans, like you could get 10,000 to no memorable factor. Also,
You would think.
it's not that hard because it's a British dude playing linebacker. His name is memorable factor. But that's not.
All I'm saying is you go up to go. You could do this. Go 10,000 fans in your area. Bring a mic. Bring someone to film you. Ask 10,000 people on the street to name one player on Duke, not named Riley Leonard. And in your neck of the woods, it might be under 10 total people.
I'd get more Zion Williamsons than
That's
than
why-
Riley Leonard. They'd be like, "Who's Riley Leonard?"
Only place you get those people is Fansville. They might know, but otherwise, I don't think any city in America knows. I do think Notre Dame will play a lot better this week. I think they'd be. I mean, I'd be stunned if they didn't. If they didn't, I think the season's going to go down the drain. But I do like the Duke pick. I'm picking them as well in this game. Frankly, I think Riley Leonard outduels Hartman. And I think Duke is one of the more just in terms of complete teams, well balanced. I think Duke is one of the best in the country at this moment in time. You know, I'd throw them in top 10 in that category, potentially even top 5. So go Blue Devils. I'm with you, but the rest of that schedule in terms of your playoff prediction, those road trips, man. I don't know. I don't think they can survive it.
It is, if they weren't coached by Mr. Elko, a lot changes. A lot changes. Like, I am just so confident in that unit with their head coach, to go out there and play their brand of football every single week, no matter if they're playing Northwestern or if they're playing Florida State. Like, they're just going to go play Duke football. It's very even keeled. We know who we are, and we know we could beat anyone in the country type of thing. Hey, maybe they can, but you know what I'm saying. And I can't wait, because I've watched this team play 4 games already. Of course I have. Like, locked into these guys, even though they're playing Lafayette and Connecticut and blah, blah, blah. We're going to see the vertical pass game, and we haven't seen it through 4 games. So all I'm saying is Ryan Leonard's at 2 touchdowns right now. There's running it down everyone's throats. It's going to be thrown. He throws for 2 in this game alone. And you're going to see him hit Samir Hagens on a deep ball, 40-plus yard touchdown, easy money.
I like it.
So anyway, we spent
the wheels turn.
Entire allotted time. Oh shoot, yeah, I should have spun that right. We spent the entire allotted time on Duke. So sorry, we're out of time. Who do we think the wheel lands on? Do we have predictions?
I'm gonna go. I think it's gonna land on Nebraska or Auburn. I think it's gonna try to take down Georgia or Michigan.
How about you, Josh?
South Carolina.
I'm gonna say it lands on
Sure.
Washington.
Mm.
Oh boy, we've got a doozy.
Oh joy. Who are they playing this week?
New Mexico State plays. This is
Ew.
really bad.
Mexico
they're on a bye. Okay,
State.
that's why I thought.
Okay, well they don't
I thought they were
count.
on the bye.
So the
I'd
I
Lobos
take
were-
I take
that's
by
not-
I take by minus 14.5.
Okay, we have to run. I forget they're on the bye too. I couldn't think of who they played. We're running it back with. I don't know. I
Oh.
kind of want to veto the wheel.
How many points is LSU?
LSU's
getting?
favored by 2.5.
That's a small number.
I
I
know,
thought
like
that-
I don't know. I think I gotta feel the wheel.
Yeah, that's gotta be vetoed.
Yeah.
Interesting. I
That
would have thought
game-
LSU
that-
like 7.
This game is
Oh
just
my
weird. It's just weird
gosh.
vibes.
Mm.
It was one. Okay,
Washington.
it was one off of Washington, but
Oh,
it landed
no.
on Virginia, who plays Boston College.
That's the blockbuster.
Hey,
match
BC
for the
minus
weekend.
3.
Well, I mean,
And
we-
Virginia's
the-
starting Musket, so
the wheel has to give us
wait, they're
something.
starting Musket.
that's what
Okay,
they
the
said,
wheel. This works. The wheel could take Arkansas. They're 6-point underdogs. That
Okay, yeah.
works. It took a while.
That's
It's never
fine.
taken that long for the wheel to cook, but
Yeah.
nonetheless, it doesn't
But-
like A&M post Wigman injury.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
That's
sad one.
fair.
Wegman done for the year, foot injury. Hopefully he should be able to come back. Man, he was playing so well. And I mean, Max Johnson's good for like a game, and I feel like they already got the good game out of it, which is kind of bad timing.
He
So
threw a dime to Evan Storm.
I know,
Yeah.
like that's the thing. He can throw these. He has to feel these. So it's like, oh, this is amazing. Like when they went and they had the LSU game against Florida, and they beat Florida in the fog. That was a great game. And then it's like, oh, you realize Mac Johnson. That's about it.
When he threw the
Yeah.
no look behind the back pass in the Rose Bowl.
That was the most
Not in
ridiculous
the
thing.
Rose Bowl, but you
Yeah.
know.
Well, it was in the Rose Bowl.
On technicality, very much was in the Rose Bowl. I know Jalen Henderson transfer from Fresno State is now QB2 there. Maybe he gets in the game, gets to run a little showcases game. Been weighing on that for a minute. Thought he should have played at Fresno State last year, but nonetheless, the wheel takes Arkansas, right? And Jerry Jones will be talking about oil and such.
Every year I
luckily.
forget this game is played at Jerry World. Every single year I'm like, oh, it's an Arkansas home game, or it's a Texas A&M home game. No, it's always just in Jerry World, which is I hate it. Make this a
All you
home and home.
need, all you need to know about this game is that Arkansas is going to lose it in a heartbreaking fashion. That's what happens essentially every year except for 2021. That's all that's
Yeah.
going to happen. So unfortunately, the will probably be wrong, but I don't hate the pick. I think A&M, on y'all's point, is going to be just one of the week to week biggest wild cards in the SEC. Because like you said, you're going to get either a good or a bad game from Johnson, and the team's talented enough to hang with at least everybody in the conference. But I don't know. I'm also interested to see that secondary after that Miami showing. How do they hold up against KJ and Co? We will see. Should I run with my second pick then?
Yes, please.
All right. This was my
You could go
blockbuster.
full monologue too.
All right. Well, I'll try my best. And this pains me. I'm a current student at the University of Missouri, but I'm going to pick the Kansas Jayhawks going into Austin, Texas.
Bro, this was
They
my
are
pick.
getting. Was it really?
Yeah.
Lovely.
I was gonna monologue this one too. No, it's fine. Go ahead.
Ah,
Go ahead.
getting-
I got backups. Don't worry.
They're getting 16 and a half. They've done this before as a far, far worse team. All right. First off, no matter who you are in the country, there is a learning curve at the beginning of every game to get used to that offense because they throw the kitchen sink at you and then some. They are just going to they're going to throw multiple quarterbacks in. They have athletes over the field. Devin Neal's a name that people need to know more about. Yes, Jalen Daniels steals the headlines, but Devin Neal's great. They have athletes all over the field. I think the defense has really stepped up from last season. I think it's honestly a respectable unit now to the point where they're not going to have to win shootouts every single game. Texas is going to get their points for sure. I think this is going to have to come in shootout fashion, but they've looked a little iffy at times. That Wyoming game, obviously early on, Baylor, they handled relatively easily, but I think Texas is still vulnerable. I think for any of those teams in the top 10 right now, I probably believe in Texas. I would say the least, frankly, just in terms of end-to-end season going undefeated. So give me KU to walk in there, come out with a win, just absolutely leapfrog in the rankings. We're going to see a top 15 Kansas team next week, which is going to be crazy. And the Jayhawks are going to get done, and they're going to merge into the Big 12 title conversation. And 5 years ago, who would have ever thought they would be saying that sentence at all?
Kansas, known as the basketball school, just like Duke, but the football teams have been doing better. And it's not just like football's here just as a little entertainment until basketball comes. Here's the thing with Kansas football. This is legit. Lance, okay, how do you say his last name? Because I've heard Leipold and Leopold. Leopold?
Yeah. That's why I think it's one of those where you can say either.
I've heard multiple. It's crazy. Like, just real tangent. The running back, the rookie running back for the Dolphins from Texas A&M. How do you say his last name?
It's Devon. It's Devon Achane.
Yeah,
I always
A-Chain.
just like saying Chain. Like that just sound better to me. But we found out last year from Jake directly from the source. It was Achane, and it's just harder to say. But then Adam Schefter went out on McAfee show and was like saying it a completely different way. It was like, yeah, it's this one. And then a Dolphins media guy was like, no, it's not. Yeah,
I don't know.
He was saying Chan, and everyone's like, no.
Yeah.
Achane.
Anyways, back to the pick. Great pick by Parker, which again I was going to pick because first of all, 16 and a half I know last year everyone was like, oh, why is this such a big spread? And then Texas blew Kansas out. But Jalen Daniels was hurt, and he wasn't really right all season until like finally like the bowl when like they had the little bit of break between regular season and the bowl game. And then you saw how really good he looked against Arkansas. He's fully healthy. He's a problem. Devin Neal single-handedly is a problem. Daniel Highshaw, a really good second option. He'd be running back one on a lot of other teams. All they need is one of those players to go nuclear. And then if two of those players go nuclear, and then all three could easily go nuclear for Kansas. I know like basketball, it's not the same as football, but one guy goes nuclear, you can pull out an opposite. But like it kind of happens in college football too, where just one, two, three guys pulls a massive upset because they just go crazy. Like the crazy thing is the first thing I thought of when I saw this was Louisville versus Clemson when Lamar Jackson just went off by himself. And then if the wide receiver just doesn't go out of bounds instead of trying to get the first down, Louisville probably wins that game. And so I'm like, maybe I'm misremembering. Maybe like Louisville had some dudes. I went and looked. No, Louisville didn't have anyone besides Lamar. That was just Lamar. And again, I mentioned Jalen Daniels. I mentioned Devin Neal, Daniel Highshaw. Do you people also know that Kansas, they have a cornerback named Kobe Bryant? They have the Mamba mentality. Are you telling me that Kansas 16 and a half? First of all, take Kansas plus 16 and a half, take Kansas plus 30. I don't care. That's easy, but you should also just hammer Kansas money line because Kansas is going to go in there. And it hurts me because I love this Texas team. I don't love them as much as this Kansas Jayhawks team, man. Rock chalk, let's go. This is awesome. I love this pick, Parker. This was gonna be my pick. I should have gone with them first. I knew it. Oh well.
I cannot believe that you name drop Lamar Jackson and that Louisville team and don't name Reggie Bonifant as an absolute bona fide star. What a mistake. What a legend
That's a
of the
name.
game.
I've
Kyle
heard that name in a
Bolin
while.
out there too. Just legends of the game, man. I'll never forget that Lamar was in a supposed QB battle with those two.
I do. I also wanted to keep this trend of not knowing how to pronounce names. I want to shout out Kansas offensive coordinator because he is phenomenal. The stuff he draws up, but it's Andy, and then I'm gonna say Kotelnicki. It's an odd spelling, but shout out to him. He's been phenomenal since he joined the staff in 2021. Prior to that season, the stuff he draws up is great. So glad that Josh was on the same wavelength though as well. I can see some magic happening in Austin because let's be real. Texas is not going undefeated, no matter how good they are. They're not going undefeated. That's just not who they are at this stage in their program.
So what really scares me for Texas right now, that Black Friday game against Texas Tech, especially with Texas Tech coming out so slow, and now they don't have Shock, and now it's going to be Bader and Lauren who's going to progressively get better and better as the weeks go. Now you have the Gunslingers, Fearless. It's like that game that late in the year.
You found a way to name
right after that. Of course, I always know how and when to name drop some guy. We could be talking about like the most random thing, and I could get us all the way to the Monmouth bench and the legends of that team, and just like we could figure it out. Shout out Nick Saban, by the way. He's got a football team, so shout out Nick Saban. Just wanted to make sure he's listening and everything.
He's a weekly listener.
Yeah, he is. He hasn't appreciated our slander recently, but it's kind of deserved. So, Josh, your next pick. You're wearing the Wyoming shirt too. Just saying.
Yeah, sure. Shout out to Powder River. Shout out to taking them to the deep end of the pool. This was out. This shirt's also very comfy. So shout out to.
So you're taking New Mexico?
No. I'm gonna take. Okay, so I had the Kansas thing. I just did the whole monologue and completely forgot it was Parker's pick, even though I was praising and saying good job, Parker, at like every other sentence.
Thanks so much.
This is a disgusting one, but you're telling me to trust Iowa plus 12 and a half. I don't care who it is. And I know it's bad vibes around the program, like really bad vibes, but I'm going to pick Michigan State because I don't trust Iowa, which I think early in the season on like a podcast, I was saying like, Iowa's going to be like top 25 just because the defense is so good, which it is. But man, this offense, again, it's just so bad. So I don't trust Iowa. I don't trust Iowa if you can only run 33 offensive plays and get 4 first downs in a game. I don't care who you're playing. That's awful. That's awful. I'm picking Michigan State.
I can't even like slander anyone who ranked Iowa to start the year because I did with Minnesota. we could just handshake emoji right now. Never ever again in our lives rank a Big Ten West team that is truly from Big Ten country. I'm not talking about not talking about the schools out west in the Pacific Northwest and California. Those fellas, by rule, would be Big Ten West. We could rank them. The teams in there right now should never touch a top 25 until they go 12-0. I really don't care. Until they could beat Ohio State, Penn State, or Michigan. Those teams should never be ranked. The worst product in college sports next to Big Ten basketball. Just the facts.
I do also think 36.5 for that over-under is way too high of a number. This game
should have been talking 28
this game,
half.
Yeah, I'm thinking like 17-13 tops, more like 13-10. I mean, there's no way either of these offenses muster much of anything. I mean, not and Michigan State defense isn't even that great, but it doesn't matter. This is going to be a disgusting game in all facets. Good, hey, good on NBC to get this in prime time though. Good job, guys.
Whoa,
I bet preseason they were thinking
game. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, preseason they were probably thinking, oh, this is going to be a good one. Nighttime at Kinnick. It's a big brand in Michigan State. Not quite.
Before I go on my pick, is a devastating TV schedule this week. It's very bad. Obviously we have SC Colorado, a big noon kickoff. Woo, love that our Pac-12 beloveds are not in the after dark time slot. And then, you actually look at the after dark time slot. Where are you looking at? Well, at 6 p.m. Pacific, you have Bama, Mississippi State. At 5 p.m. Pacific, also San Diego State Air Force. Price all game if you want to watch that great Air Force team. Then you truly get after dark. 7 p.m. Pacific, Washington, Arizona, which can only be found on Pac-12 Network. 7:30 Pacific on Fox Sports 1, Nevada, Fresno State. That's your after dark time slot. Those two games. An absolute travesty. Hey, we could go further with the TV stuff. Washington State, UCLA next week, Pac-12 Network. What are we doing? Genuinely, what are we doing? Last week, why was Oregon State, Washington State, thriller of a game overshadowed by the mid-off of all mid-offs between Ohio State and Notre Dame? Travesty. That game should have been in the Pac-12 after dark window. Very upset about that stuff. Nonetheless, fix it. I used nonetheless in the wrong way there, but
I just want to go back to my upset picks real quick because I just realized I picked two basketball schools. I picked Syracuse and I picked Michigan State. And so I don't know how that makes me feel.
He did again.
It's getting close to the basketball season.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Yeah,
I'll roll with it. I like Michigan State basketball.
I'm taking the basketball school too.
Yeah.
For this pick. Oh well, I guess I did with Duke, so I'm going. Well, Duke's a football school to be fair. They really are a football school. Alco or Coach Shire.
Exactly. Coach K is gone. Duke's done. Duke's done. Yeah. You hear that, everybody? Duke basketball done.
All right. These two teams that I'm picking between. Some say it's a good rivalry. 63 wins on one side, 56 on the other, 8 ties. We're not doing ties, though. 2017, the last year that the team I'm picking won a game in this rivalry. It was a 40-17 win, and then they went out there a few weeks later and got pummeled in the conference championship game. And from there, it's been all to the almighty dogs ever since, for absolutely zero reason, except for, man, I love college football, and I kind of want to see those 2007 vibes again. Give me Auburn. I want to see the world burn. Well, the college football world burn. Georgia's just been very unimpressive, and they got to really show me something. Their first halves are terrible. The third quarters are elite. Coming into the season, preseason poll ranked Georgia number 2. Toughest game I predicted to be at Auburn. Hey, I could be cool and be right twice, or I could be a real loser and lose twice. But I want to win. I want Auburn to go out there and win this game, despite nothing on paper ever saying that they should. You're little old Auburn. You're playing the back-to-back national champion Georgia Bulldogs. Kirby Smart, knows that his team is only projected to win 6 games this season with that schedule. He'll have the guys fired up. They don't care. Hugh Freeze, you got to cook me something up. Cook the college football world something up, because I'm telling you, as college football fans, do we really want to see Georgia in the playoff again? We don't.
No.
We could say that as fans, while as analysts and such, we say Georgia should win this game by double digits, as the spread of 14.5 suggests. But as fans of the game, we're here for one thing. We're here for Aubie. We're here for Bruce Pearl to take his shirt off at this game. And we're here to say War Eagle. Go Aubie. Yeah.
Another basketball school pick.
Save me. Very big basketball school.
Wow.
Anthony Edwards, I'm calling you out. Georgia's losing this game. If Georgia loses this game, you have to wear Auburn gear at the first 10 T-Wolves home games of the season. You have to warm up in Auburn gear.
10.
Yep.
He accepts your challenge. I do find it really interesting that it is only 14.5 as the number 1 team in the country versus an unranked foe. I think Vegas knows that Jordan-Hare Stadium in that 3:30 Eastern time slot on CBS is just one of the most treacherous things for any team to walk into. I'm with you that on paper, by no means should they compete in this game whatsoever. But if Georgia plays another slow first half, Auburn stays in the game, Jordan-Hare has some magic about it that nobody has ever been able to really figure out, not even Bama, not even the great Nick Saban. I think they could do it. I'm interested to see how they score in this game, frankly, after how the offense performed last week against a defense that is going to largely pale in comparison to what Georgia's going to throw out there. But also, I mean, Georgia's not going to put up that many points, I bet, either. So, hey, let's make it low. I don't
care about points. If Auburn scores 6, I win. So, looking for a 6-3 ball game. Look, if all I'm saying is, if I was at this game, so basically, there's no shot I'm going to this game, but for those Auburn fans that are there, or maybe if you're fans of another school and you're just enjoying it, take some grass out the stadium. Steal some grass after this win happens and go to a scientist in a lab or something and try to solve the magic of Jordan-Hare. Just try your best to figure it out. Then go to your favorite team and try and replicate it. That's all I'm saying. Stuff gets weird.
What if my favorite team has turf?
Your favorite team has turf. We need to fix that because it's leading to too many injuries.
That's true. Yeah.
I just watched Missouri play Memphis on one of the worst turf fields I've ever seen in St. Louis. That convinced me more than anything they need to get rid of turf.
It was gross.
Yeah, the dome was cool. The field was abysmal.
Thank goodness Mr. Burden wasn't hurt bad.
Jeez.
Virtually every player on the roster, they had like 10 guys go down. Most of them came back, but that was a game that might beat them once later in the season as opposed to now. But I digress. My Missouri name dropping. The wheels
we are on to the wheel. Would you like to
one more thing real quick for the Auburn thing? You talked about maybe this is a 6-3 game. You know who Auburn's kicker is, people?
Yeah,
that's Alex McPherson. That is the brother of Evan McPherson, the second swaggiest kicker in the NFL, because Justin Tucker will have that till he retires. But Evan McPherson, this is the kicker who went out Super Bowl halftime because he's a kicker. He doesn't need to be there. He went and he rocked out to that awesome halftime show in LA. One of the best. Granted, he did miss that kick at the end of the game to tie against the LSU game, which I mentioned earlier, but we don't talk about that. It was foggy. Alex McPherson, he's 16-16 on the year, guys. And he's going to be, I can't think about, good gosh, he's going to be 18 of 18, and then they're going to win 6-3 because that's what Auburn does.
In my 133 players to watch article, my player to watch for Auburn was Mr. McPherson. It just was. No jokes about it. I chose the dang kicker. I chose Evan's little brother. And heck, yeah, let's take it a step further, Josh. Let's go with he just kicks a game-winning field goal. Auburn, the Magic, force a late turnover in a tie game, win like 20-17 off the boot of McPherson. Yeah,
they take the field goal post to Toomer's corner and roll it and throw the field goal post up in the trees.
Man, this just sounds like a good old college football time. Yeah, woohoo. Cool. What's the wheel taking? I'm going to say the wheel lands on, actually, someone else say something.
Nebraska.
I'm going to go UAB.
Oh my gosh, I was actually going to
say UAB.
I'm going to go, it lands on UTEP, which is not good if it does. Okay.
Not at all.
let's double check because I don't. Okay,
We need to talk about more how UAB stinks.
Yeah,
Akron,
instead of I'm
not surprised that
Buffalo, are
UAB
they
stinks.
favored?
Akron
be
is a
favored over
3-point
Buffalo.
favorite, so I
Okay,
don't.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't think we could take that.
Yeah,
Look,
we can't go there.
I had
they're
zero
both really
expectations.
bad.
I had zero expectations for UAB with Dilfer coming in. Some of the key talent that they lost, like McBride, like Telford, like a Starling Thomas. Like I'm not very surprised at all, and I just want to cry with what the wheel just chose.
No.
Nebraska.
But I don't think they play. They don't play.
More
Who was
vibes.
it-
The
was
wheel
they?
landed. It landed on Ohio.
Oh,
Oh,
Ohio's
yeah.
Ohio's not ever going to be an underdog except for when they
Well,
play
it would to
Iowa
be
State.
to upset them.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
it could be either way.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Forgot
about that.
Okay, so
These
the
teams on buys
wheel,
or not.
the wheel's looking for chaos.
Oh no. Well,
The wheel knows.
the wheel's smart.
They play with Stanford.
This exact thing happened in 2021. Stanford was a horrible team. Oregon walked in their top 10, and they just they forgot to play
Oh my
football.
gosh.
You could go talk to Dylan and ask him how he feels about
Oh
playing
my
Stanford.
gosh.
You could talk to any Oregon fan, ask how they feel about Stanford. Go to any Pac-12 fan,
Yes.
ask how they feel about playing late night in Tempe or Tucson. This stuff is gross. And what
All the same
happens is college football fans that are east of the Mississippi and don't stay up watching our games don't really understand that our great programs playing against the bottom of the barrel Pac-12 teams that year, this year being, your Stanfords, your Cals, your Arizona schools, it ain't easy. It's not like you're going to play Vanderbilt it's not like you're going to play, I don't know, Rutgers on the road or something, and you just maul them over. It ain't really what we do out here. These teams end up struggling against the inferior opponents because we're such a good and balanced conference, and we're always just, wow, cannibalization is cool. Don't take that out of context.
Yikes.
And it's going to be a sleepy farm. There's going to be like a couple thousand people there.
I wish I had the
Oregon by
newspaper.
27. Yeah, it's just. I mean, yeah, you mentioned Oregon fans spiked towards Stanford. They were my least favorite team in the sport in the 2010s because they messed up Oregon's championship shots on specifically two occasions I can remember, but I believe it's more than that. Getting over that Stanford hump was the greatest thing in the world when Marcus finally destroyed them in Eugene in his final
Ask a
season.
UCLA fan how they feel about playing Stanford.
Yeah,
Actual
it's just,
nightmares.
that's why I'm at this point where, like, yes, I'd like to see Stanford being good, but I'm fine with them being down. They've done enough to hurt every Pac-12 fan base to where they can be down for a bit.
I see. Mine's like in a sick and demented way. I still wish that David Shaw was there, and I still wish that
Why?
because I really like David Shaw. I really do, even though he terrorizes UCLA and Oregon and all these other Pac-12 programs. And I still, a part of me really wishes that David Shaw was still in the game, still at Stanford, and in one of these next 2 years, ideally would have been Pac-12. Just had
still
a
in?
crazy out of body Stanford experience. I
He's
would
not
love
still
to
in
see
coaching,
it.
is he?
I'm not sure
don't
where
think
he is
so.
right now.
Yeah, I don't think he
I
was.
know. So
David
his
Shaw.
son plays at, well, he's on UCLA's roster. So David's like been at UCLA and UCLA gear. Nuts.
Interesting.
Actually, so the wheel might look like it's cooking up something nasty, but that dish could be quite tasty in a few days, and I don't want that to happen. I don't think it'll happen. I really
Please,
don't.
no.
I think Dan Lanning, and we could call him top 10 coach in the game right now. All of us would collectively punch our computer screens right now to express, maybe not that far, but just to express what we do to play for that guy and what it like. That's a culture. There's a lot of programs out there that think they got culture right now. They don't got it. That's the thing.
Oregon
culture,
has substance.
rooted in substance, and I don't think that this Oregon team goes out there and falls flat stand. I think they put up. I think they'll put 50 plus, and I think they'll take care of business. The Pac-12 game that I am petrified about is Washington and Tucson.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Oof.
Mhm.
Yeah,
that
I
like
agree.
that's the stuff that sends chills down our Pac-12 spines. And so last week you saw, because Dion has brought so many good things to college football. It has brought a lot more casual fans, which is good and bad, but it has infected people to watch Pac-12 because the conference is elite and because Dion's in it, and now there's just more interest. So now more people who usually haven't watched this conference are watching it. And last week, there's a bunch of people tweeting, like, surprised as they've ever been that SC's not walking all over ASU. And then us Pac-12 heads are just like, yeah, this is a yearly thing.
It's a night game in
This, a
Arizona.
bi-yearly thing. Like, this stuff happens. Like, that was a good win for SC. Their defense held strong enough. They only gave it 28. They win by 14. They took care of business. Caleb Williams is off. What more could you ask for a night game in Tempe, a late night game in Tempe from a top team that's got a target on their back? Like, you take that 100 times.
Scatterbo nearly like destroyed a couple of the defenders too, and they still got out of their
Oh
lives.
my
So I mean,
gosh.
yeah,
One
that
of the
was
best
great.
touchdown runs that we're going to see all season.
But I just, yeah,
Angry.
playing a night game in the desert is just a horrifying thing.
It's
I mean,
ominous.
it's all. I would put that. I would say worse than playing in Salt Lake? Question mark at night. That's very close for me.
It's different vibes.
Yeah, it's
It
a
is
different
different.
And it's
vibe,
also
different
bigger game.
situations.
It depends on which Arizona group. Like Arizona State's like always like it's always like hot. It's always hot. It doesn't matter what time they kick off. It's hot. Arizona, it's kind of like that, but like people there, it's like Tucson also just like no offense to Tucson, but like Tucson sucks. And so just the vibes there as soon as you enter, it just sucks. And then it takes the life out of you. And you're like, okay, whatever. And then you go into that game, and then you're just sick and you want to get out of there. Whereas Arizona State just like, okay, I'm dying because it's hot. Arizona, like, they don't call themselves the U of A, right? They just want to be called Arizona. There was something about that a few
I
years ago.
thought, did they fight over that?
There
I
was
thought
something
their
where like
fans
they don't
loved to
like
be
being called U
U
of
of
A.
A.
I don't remember,
I
but
thought
anyways,
they loved it.
yeah.
They
Anyways,
usually
you go
chant
to
it.
you go to U of A, and then it's just a different, just disgusting vibe. Like Salt Lake City is just death. You go there, it's death. You just feel it suffocating you. That's what happened to UCLA. It's different vibes. And then Stanford, just like no one's there. It's like I'm playing a scrimmage. This
no,
is
they
pretty
have
much.
their newspapers out. They're literally doing algebra and their
It's not
English
algebra, that's
literature classes. And sorry, algebra was tough for me. Trigonometry, sure. Any sort of the chemistry, I don't know. Insert tough class at Stanford here. But yeah, obviously with the Arizona schools like playing there and Salt Lake City, the difference, you're getting up for the game in Salt Lake City. Like, you're going to war for a big time game. It's going to be on a big time channel with a lot of viewers. And for the ones in Arizona, it's late night. We probably got a game that we're really looking forward to next week. We're a highly regarded team. Everyone's they're propping us up, right? Everyone's so hyped about us. The hype train's out of control. We win this easy. And then they just boom, 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 punches, and you don't know what to do. So you gotta find a way to overcome it. Whereas Utah is just both teams, they're showing up with their boxing gloves and they're just throwing haymakers, which is why I thought the UCLA Utah game was actually really good last week, even though it was 14-7. Like, it's 7-7 without pick six. Like, that was a defensive masterclass from both sides of the ball. Front sevens overwhelming two really good offensive lines. Like, that was just good football. That was by far a better game than Notre Dame Ohio State. Yeah, people want to call that game of the year. Ridiculous. That won't be a top 10 game of the year this season. Just the facts.
One other thing about the Oregon game I want to quickly mention. I really, really want Oregon and Washington to start doing what Bama and LSU do, where every year they have a bye before they play each other. They're doing it this year. I forget if I don't think they've done it in years past, at least annually, but I think that would be phenomenal if they keep that going in the Big Ten. Because both of them, I mean, yeah, if you're Oregon, you just get through the Stanford game and you're undefeated going to Seattle, and you got everything in front of you. That's all you need to do. Same for Washington with Arizona. So I find that interesting that they'll start treating their rivalry the same as Bama and LSU potentially.
Yeah, I love that.
All right. Man, I almost went with Arizona over Washington, but like as one of my 8 games, on my list, but I can't as a Washington fan. I just can't in good faith do that. But I sense it. I'm terrified of this game. I don't want to play this game. This is
Especially with how much we're
horrifying.
all hyping them up. And
It's
like
just gonna
people
be.
now late to the party that are hyping them up.
I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Um,
I just-
I'm gonna run through my other games real quick. Sam Houston State plus 6.5 versus Jacksonville State. Just because Sam Houston's like they've looked. Did I say Sam Houston State? My bad, because I know you guys don't want to be called that. You want to be called Sam Houston. They've been very feisty on defense, and they're finally playing a school that's like kind of down to their level. Because Sam Houston, they played BYU, Air Force, and Houston. I mean, they got crushed at Houston, but they did good against Air Force and BYU. Granted, Jacksonville State's look pretty good this year. So, but I like it better. Again, Kansas, Texas. That's one of our games for the game picks, regular picks. I do have Kansas, of course, in the upsets and in here. Shout out to Parker. That's a great pick.
I do too, Liam. Don't you worry.
USF and Navy. USF +4 at Navy. I mean, Navy's been a little bit better than expected, but USF, like Byron Brown and Naeem Simmons, those guys are so much awesome. Byron Brown, dual threat quarterback. Naeem Simmons, transfer from Wagner, really good receiver. He should have had 300 plus receiving yards in this last game, but then like he caught a pass, but his teammate was also going for the pass, so they kind of tackled each other, and it was really sad because it would have been like an 80-yard bomb. Hawaii UNLV, Parker took that one also. Abilene Christian at North Texas. That's just vibes. I don't know. I'm like, oh, I like this one. Well, nice
Basketball
upset,
school.
FCS. Exactly. Shout out to basketball schools. And finally, one more basketball school. West Virginia +12 at TCU. These teams are both 3-1, but the vibes are very different for 3-1. Like West Virginia, no one thought they'd be here, but the Neil Brown's gonna hang on to his job because number one, West Virginia just has a bunch of other things to worry about in the academic program. And even though like the money like isn't the same, like paying money for a coach versus all the other stuff, like it's separate stuff, but firing a head coach and then paying another coach, it just looks bad. So they're probably not going to fire him, which is crazy, especially like West Virginia might somehow sneak into a bowl now. And then again, TCU 3-1, but again, different vibes for 3-1. A major come down from running into Georgia last year. But and also in our pick'ems, I do have West Virginia. And I do have Kansas. Yeah, so those are my other ones, and just watch as one. I'm gonna check my last time I was here, week 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of my upset picks like hit, but I didn't pick any of them. I picked Virginia over Maryland and Villanova over UCF. Again, I went basketball schools. I keep picking basketball schools. I don't know why. I'm infected. It's bad. Yeah, those are my other picks to mention. So,
man, I mean, everyone took a basketball school here, aside from the wheel. Us three all took basketball schools, except for Hawaii, which good basketball program. Went up against the basketball school, we could say, in UNLV.
True. Yeah, very true.
One of them that was on my radar as well that I probably would have taken. If one of you stole one of my picks, I didn't want to double down. South Carolina over Tennessee. I just don't think Tennessee should be ranked. And I think these are two very evenly matched teams. Even with South Carolina's offensive line struggles, neither of them are top 25 teams. But regardless, and then I would obviously take, obviously, Kentucky over Florida, but let's just not upset. The wheel I did spin because I give the wheel, of course, 2 picks that it might have taken.
Oh yeah, the wheel. See, the wheel was right there. It knew it was coming. It just didn't want to put it as the official one.
The wheel literally just knows. It actually knows ball and trends and what's scary and what's not. And okay, I mean, this was kind of weird though for the wheel to have a lean for. Do they play this week? They do. I mean, they're 3-point favorite, and JT Daniels, I'm sure, is questionable to play in this game because of the hits that he took. So I guess it's got East Carolina over Rice as a 3-point dog. Well then, wheel. I guess
so I'll cut in real quick. I think I said Syracuse +7, and it was, but it's dropped down to +6.5. So if you want to get in on Syracuse, get in. Because it's dropping, and by the time this recording comes out, it might be even lower. So hurry up and get in on the orange.
Yeah, we'll recap our picks right now, and then we'll get up on out here. Please, though, make sure to comment your picks below, what you like, what you don't like about what we took. And we'll see you on the next one for sure. But Parker, let us know your 2 picks.
Hawaii over UNLV. Hawaii getting 9.5 points, and then I've got the Kansas Jayhawks going into Austin, Texas, and taking down Texas, getting 16.5.
And Josh is rolling with.
Yes, sir. I got basketball schools. I got Syracuse now plus 6.5 as the time of recording over Clemson because vibes, and Michigan State plus 12.5 against Iowa because I don't trust Iowa.
And I'm the intelligent mind with Duke over Notre Dame and going to the playoff. And I'm the idiot with Auburn over Georgia. The wheel, Arkansas over A&M. A happy Jerry Jones. And Stanford over Oregon. A very sad Dan Lanning.
Yep.
Tisk, tisk. Let us know what you think of our picks, of course. Again, yes, comment them. I know it said like 30 seconds ago, but I'm emphasizing the importance. We'll see you on the next one, of course. Thank you so much. Like and subscribe, all that good stuff. Ooh, yeah, upsets. Let's not be terrible this week. Let's all get at least one.
6-0.